Hello, and welcome to Havoc Wargaming, dedicated to bringing you the uncommon. For those of you who haven't met me, my name is Ron. Today we're going to do a build review of Tamara Safe House, a kit by Black Site Studios. So let's get going. So those of you who regularly watch my channel will know that I've recently received a large number of Black Site Studio built kits. So we're going to be doing a number of reviews of these buildings and get them onto the playing table and show you what the kits look like, how useful they may be in various games, and eventually we'll get them in some games as well. So what we're going to do right now is get started. All right, so here's the finished model. I just want to make a few comments about it before we go on. Here's a little guy to give you some view. You'll see the building is pretty large. It comes entirely apart. There's the roof. We'll come back to that. The upper floor here. There's online is available some paper details, carpets to place under the floors to improve the look on it. The doors, as you can see, do operate. A few remarks regarding the kit. The stairs, both sets, are really, really hard and time-consuming to put together. Real challenge. I think that's kind of true with any stairs, though, so don't know that I would place that as a pro or con necessarily. You can see there's a door laying here. The model calls for little pieces that fit in here that hold the door in place. And there are 7 doors with this model, and yet it was only provided with 6 of those pieces. So that's a challenge. That leads to one of the other challenges with this model, and that is the directions. The directions for most of these kits are available for download online on the Blacksite Studios kit. But in this particular model's case, a lot of the numbers were wrong. In fact, the little piece I'm talking about that's missing and the door are both listed as being part A3, when the door is actually H something or other. The upper railings were all numbered backwards. Also on these pieces here, this detail along here, this detail was very poorly cut. And that's poorly cut, doesn't fit well, very delicate sort of fragile construction in the first place. So exactly not the kind of thing you want to be poorly cut. It's really hard to deal with. A somewhat fiddly kit in some cases, not to put together so much except for the stairs, but just to get removed, to remove the spur from the sprues. And missing some parts, and a lot of the things not properly or didn't jive in the measurements. Nothing that was unsurmountable in that way. Some of the good things about the kit, look at the size of this thing. Look at the size, much larger than I expected. And then coming apart the way it does, it's going to be great on the board, on the battlefield. It comes with some spare parts to help improve it. Some of these extra plaster, some of this plaster is covering corners and things and is part of the instruction. But there's a couple extra places where you can put it where you wish. Don't do what I did and forget that these stairs go here. You'll see I put a bunch of the extra stuff here because there was this huge blank wall of no plaster, completely forgetting that it was going to be mostly hidden by this spare set of stairs anyway. That leads to another one of the negative parts. Right in the instructions it says to handle this stuff very carefully because it's delicate. And yet, you'll see it was broken already in the package, and I didn't ever find the remains of that sprue in the package. So I think this was broken before it ever got packed and sent to me. So I have an issue with that. At least one part wasn't even in the design. I don't know how that has slipped by people's notice. That, like I said, the extra door joint for the inside. And then the broken pieces when already arriving. These things being poorly lasered. To be fair, these compound corners, from what I understand, can be a challenge to laser. So the delicate nature of what they're doing is part of the reason for some of these issues. Their models are somewhat elaborate and make for a very, very complicated, great-looking structure on the table. In the end, after saying a couple negative things about the model, I will tell you, I'm glad I got it. It's going to play an important part in a number of games, and I think it's a very nice-looking piece. So that's something to keep in mind, and some of the things can be like the upside down trimming here. I'm just going to end up painting, I think, this entire railing on the balcony, which will hide some of the issues up there. You can see too, there's the case with any MDF that's pre-painted is there's places that are going to have to be touched up when they're done. Let me move the building around so you can see some of the other angles of it. There's another one of the doors, a little opening onto the top. And so that was the build review for the Tamara Safe House, a kit from the Wargames Arabia line by Blacksite Studios. Now the kit's a bit challenging, and it has some minor issues, nothing that's unresolvable, and some of it is probably going to occur anyway with the nature of a kit of this sort. It is a somewhat complicated kit, but the end product certainly allows for a model that'll have a dominating effect and be a major portion of any game at any gaming table. I'd be interested to see what comments some of you may have if you've built this particular kit or one of the other kits by Blacksite Studios. Go ahead and put them in the comments below. If you have any thoughts about this video in particular, we'd like to see them down there as well. Also, if you have any ideas for further content you'd like to see here on Havoc Wargaming. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit like and be sure to subscribe. And until next time, cheers.